folders, don't get it now. It'll tell you about the very first school in Apopka, which was right here, and she's going to tell you all about it. I need your attention. I'm going to say, aha. Should we show her how we do that? Yeah. I don't really need to because you're listening so well, but aha. Aha. That's all you have to do.
Wonderful, thank you. The first thing that we want to address is cemetery etiquette. Etiquette means how to behave. And whether it's etiquette at home or etiquette at a restaurant, it's basically the same as just respect. And to respect the people in these graves and their families. And there are some family members walking around here today visiting their families. So the first thing is if you look here, you'll see marble or concrete, marble, these three, shaped like a twin bed. And that means there's a body underneath there. Well, all of these people couldn't afford those expensive marble slabs, so you pretend like it's there, like there's a twin bed sitting there and you can't walk on it, okay? That is where the person's body lies, and if it's a child, it'll be short. But please walk between them and not on them, like walk across here or walk through between them, but don't walk across the top of the body. Now that's out of respect. There's no ghost going to reach out and grab your leg or anything. Well, not during the daytime at least. And so just be respectful of the people in here. Some of these people have been here over 150 years. And some people are just brought in this week. There are still some plots available here, but not many in this section. One of the people who helped build the school and was part of the Baptist church, they're over in the far side, over by the dog park entrance, and then some of them are back here in the very old entrance. And in fact, the man whose child is the oldest marked grave in here. We know there's got to be older people in there, but he, at 9 years old, he was buried out here in 1856, is on the marker. And his father owned this land at one time before it was sold to the Masons. And you'll see Christiana Boulevard and Mason Avenue. That's Mason Avenue running right across there. Zealots and Christiana Mason owned this property. And then they sold it to the Baptist church. The Apopka Baptist Church built a building here. And you can see a picture of that church right there.
And you can look later, it's in your folder.
Okay. That church was sitting right here where these plots are. And if you look at the schoolhouse picture, you'll see those little rails. And those rails were right in front of the school, the first public school in Apopka. Now, it was 1885 was when the property was sold to build the school. Then something happened in 1891. They had, for one thing, the pastor at the church was the principal and one of the teachers in the school. And it was very rare to have 3 teachers, but they had more than one teacher, and they had the principal. And the reason they let him be the teacher is he wasn't getting enough money as a pastor. So he was teaching, and he wanted to teach Sunday school and prayer in the public school. Well, there were parents that were upset with that. And he was let go in September, and on October 4th, the place burnt down. But the other reason that's a possibility besides religion in school is the fact that they were trying to require vaccinations. Now, what are the 2 things some parents argue about right now? Yes?
Your attitude?
Well, think about what I was talking about.
The vaccination.
Vaccinations. Some parents pull their kids out of school and homeschool them because they don't want to give them shots to protect the other children. Yes?
The reason why they don't like vaccinations is because they think it causes autism.
But that was a lie. That was false information. Yeah, that man lost his license that put that lie out there. What was the other reason? Yes?
Their education.
Okay, what? Yes?
Because they think there's harmful chemicals that could harm
Well,
their
okay,
child.
we've talked about vaccinations, but what was the other reason?
The cost?
That they might be a different religion.
A different religion.
Different religion.
Or a non-religion.
Right.
And out here in this old cemetery, we have someone who was Jewish, back in the 1850s. There was a Jewish family here, and he happened to be a doctor. And then there was a Methodist, and actually the Baptist church let the other church practice in their hall because their church hadn't been built yet. So all these people got along together. All these religions got along together. All these faiths got along together. And they accepted each other. And they went to school together. And before that, only, oh, look at that beautiful hawk flying around up in here, giving us some attention.
I saw an eagle this morning.
Yeah.
So tell them about the flags.
Yes. These flags mean that a veteran was buried there. And what you will see, and I'm going to walk around here, is some of them say right on them, this one says World War II, and it has a damaged, a moss-covered symbol here, and that symbol was the military branch they were in. And so it says World War II. Now, what are some of the wars that you're going to look for to put the flags out? Yes? World War I? Yes, sir?
1918?
Yeah, that was World War I.
The Vietnam War?
Vietnam War. You're going to find some Vietnam War soldiers out here that have recently died because of Agent Orange.
The Seminole War?
The Seminole War. There are actually people here that fought in the Seminole War. You might not find them with a sign on them. What's another war? There's none that fought in the Revolutionary War here that we know of that has a sign on them, because that was long before this area was settled. The Civil War. You're going to find Civil Wars. Most of them are behind that fence, but there are some Civil War both sides throughout the cemetery. Any other war? Yes, sir?
Desert Storm.
Desert Storm. Did you serve there, sir?
No, my brother did.
Your brother did. Well, bless him. Yes, sir?
The 1812 War?
The War of 1812? I don't think that there were any in here.
Oh.
I think that they would have all probably died prior to when this area, they could have still been alive, but I don't recall any. There's something begins with a K? Yes?
The Korean War?
The Korean War. There are Korean War soldiers here. I have friends that were Vietnam, Korea, and World War II. So some people have fought many wars. Okay, yes, ma'am?
The war in Afghanistan?
Yes, the Afghanistan War and the Iraqi War. Some people call one of them the Gulf War. And so they have signs with their names on them in downtown Orlando at the courthouse. Their names are in Tallahassee and supposed to be in Washington. But if people don't report who died in the war, now this is for anybody whether they died in a war or not, that you're going to put the flags on. And and so people out here may not have died in the war, but some have, and they were friends of Mr. John Land, the mayor, the mayor that was here for 60 years. His has a giant flagpole on it I put up, and then this other flagpole you see here closer was the only Apopka police officer to ever die in the line of duty. And that's a flagpole I put up right down there that you can see from here. But the next one over with the monument in front of it is John Land's plot. And he served in World War II, and some of his friends never were brought home. They died in other countries. One has never been drug out of the Pacific Ocean. He's still down there in a submarine. And then others are still in France. So if you see these big name streets, what are some of the names of the streets that are named after our World War II?
Grossenbacher.
Grossenbacher. Who else?
Martin.
Yep. Martin, the road in front of the high school. So we have 4 that were named after World War II, so that died in the line of duty.
You can tell them about that's where the plaque's going to be.
Yes. Okay. This pole here is where the sign is going to go up that you can read. This is a mock-up of it, so the words might not be in that size and shape. But this is like the level marker down at Magnolia Park, and it tells the story of this schoolhouse. And I had to research it through lots and lots and lots of papers inside the museum, and I also had to research online with the county comptroller's office. the tax collector's office and other places online to find out the true story of where this was. So the sign's going to go up this week, maybe even this afternoon. Then we will have a dedication we will tell your family about, where the museum, which you can go visit. Oh, great. Come back to the museum, and then also watch in the newspaper and on social media for when we're going to have the dedication for this schoolhouse, and your parents can join us, you can join us. And just remember your etiquette, no running around, no screaming. Don't disturb people that are praying or visiting their families. When you come in a cemetery, don't rock or touch stones and flowers and stuff. Don't wiggle them. It is possible with some of these stones being over 150 years old, you go to wiggle them or lean up against them and you're going to get seriously hurt. So please, just if you avoid touching the stones, then they may not fall on you. And then that's also respect. Respect for the fact that that's somebody's headboard. They're sleeping below it. Okay?
All right, so you have about 5 minutes to go put the flag on the grave of a veteran and get back on your buses. And we thank you so much for being on the Apopka field trip today.
Okay, watch
Thank
where you walk.
Guys, this
You can
way.
go that way too.
Rock Springs, this way.
You can go that way.
Dang it, I
Stay
just
with her.
found mine.
Lockhart.
And the
Yeah, get it back to